Hey guys, so it's, well, technically now it's Saturday, which means it's technically a week until my birthday, which I'm happy about. I apologize for how I look right now. I don't know why I look like been crying. Like, I'm looking at myself right now, and I look like I've been crying, but I haven't. And so I don't know what the fuck is going on. But, we're just gonna go with it, and you're just gonna have to accept that sometimes I'm gonna look like shit. It's just life. Some days you just look like shit. I really do not know what's going on with this. Like, my eye is just, like, there's some weird shadow thing that's happening, and I just look like I've been crying. But I haven't been, and the hair is because of the rain that we've been having, and it's just not cooperating. So I'm just going to put it behind my ears and kind of drape it like this and hope that helps. Okay, so I got some more questions on YouTube. I got these, like, a week and a half ago, if not more. And I've just been so busy that I haven't got to get to them. So, let's see. Alright, question number 1. Number 1 dating tip. Okay. Number 1 dating tip. I'm sorry, that's the pipes behind me, because that's the radiator. I apologize. Number 1 dating tip. I would have to say, if you are in a relationship, you need to have clear things that are acceptable and unacceptable. Especially if you're in a long distance relationship. You need to, like, one of my friends, she's here, and her boyfriend is in Indianapolis. And they have really big issues about being apart. And she was freaking out this week. And it's completely understandable because they've been apart for a while. And she's like freaking out because she hasn't seen him and she doesn't know what's happening. And she's not in control, is why she's freaking out. The thing you have to remember is that you have to trust them. Even if you trust them just until the next time you see them, you have to trust them. Because if you don't, then you're going to make yourself worry over probably nothing and put a strain on your relationship that it's probably not going to survive because you wanted to be jealous and crazy. So, besides communication, which is always the best thing, you have to have a set of ground rules. Like, this goes with, like, roommates, too. If you're moving to college, take this as a roommate tip as well. Set up ground rules when you first move in. Things that are acceptable, things that are okay, and things that are unacceptable. Like, for me, what's unacceptable is having people in the room past 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, by then, I want to go to sleep. So, I would really like if you would leave. Like, there's a study lounge, which I am filming from right now, because she has people in the room. That's another thing. Like, don't be rude. Like, if I was filming this and she was there, that would be kind of rude because she would have to stop her conversation for me to film my video. That's why I've filmed a couple from my study lounge here at Ball State. So yeah, that's probably the best thing. You gotta have, like, the bottom level. Like, my 2 biggest are, don't have people in the room past 1, just because I think that's the most ridiculous thing ever. Unless they're, like, mutual friends and we're, like, all hanging out. But if you have your friends in there, don't have them past 1 o'clock. I would really appreciate it. Like, that's unacceptable for you to have them there past 1 without, like, asking me first. Or to have someone over and have sex with them without warning me. Which is awful. Which she's married and her husband's away, so that's never happened to me, but it's happened to my friends. And the number 2 thing is to never say the F word around me, and not fuck. Fuck is not the F word; it's the F bomb. The F word is 3 letters, and I call it the British cigarette F word. If you don't know what it is, Google it. It's also a clump of sticks used for burning. However, awful word, and no one ever use that around me. I will, like, hurt you. Okay, number 2. How was Pride? Pride was amazing. I went to Pride, Gay Pride, this past summer, June. It was my first one, and so it was the best time ever. Only the thing is, if you bring sunscreen, bring, like, the really heavy-duty sunscreen. Or, like, even, like, just tanning oil or something, because you will get burnt. I got burnt. And a horrible tan line that still has not gone away. So, yeah, it was great. Okay, there's a whole, like, album on my Facebook if you want to check it out. But there was this one guy, and he was taking donations at the door, at the entrance, for people, because it was given to a scholarship fund to help LGBT kids get into college. And so I was like, yeah, I'll totally give you $1. And, like, every time we went in and out, I always gave him, like, either $1 or 50 cents or something because I felt guilty for saying no every time. And so the last time when we were on our way out, I was like, I've given you guys, like, $5 today, like, over the times that I've gone in and out. Do you think I could get a picture with you? Because you're really cute. And he goes, sure. And so I hand my camera to my friend, and then I turn back, and he has his pants off. He's just standing there in his underwear. And the other guy was taking the money. He's like, I don't think she meant with your pants in your underwear. And he goes, but I look cuter this way. And I was like, I'm all right with this. He was fine. He was very gay, but very fine. And so that was great. However, bring a lot of water. Bring a lot of water. Like, especially this past summer, it was awful. But I brought like 6 bottles of water. But between 3 people, it was not a lot. And so bring a lot of water is what I can tell you. My biggest fear. I have 2 really big fears. One is drowning because I'm not a good swimmer. And, like, I've always just thought that that would be the most terrifying way to die, would be drowning. Like, think about it. It'd be awful, right? And then the other one is to die before I'm 30. And I know it sounds stupid, but cancer runs so thick in my family and runs so thick in your 20s in my family, like your 20s and your early 30s in my family, that I am just terrified that I'm going to get it like when I'm in college or something. My biggest fear in high school was getting cancer because I was like, I'll never survive it if I get cancer. So, like, it runs so deep in my family that I just can't do it. Like, I could not, if I got cancer before I was 30, I don't know if I'd be able to fight it. I really don't. Most embarrassing moment. Oh God, there's so many. Most embarrassing moment. When I was gonna say 12, I had not my first kiss, but one of them. You know, like less than 10 kiss with one of my friends at the time. And we kind of had like that preteen feelings for each other type thing, where we were just, you know, horny and didn't realize what it was. I say that now, but I'm like, now that I think about possibly sleeping with him, I'm just like, oh my God. He's a beautiful person and I love him. He's always going to be a friend to me and like family to me, but I could never ever imagine ever him in that position ever, 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 ever. But he kissed me, and then his brother walked in, and we were like in the shed, like because there was this big shed, and we were going into it to get the bikes to go hang out with other people down the street because I lived kind of in the country, because this is when I lived in Florida. And his brother, who's a year younger than I am, and he was 3 years older than me, so he's like 15 at the time, and I was 12 and 12ish. He's 15-ish, and then his little brother, who's like 11-ish, walked in, and it was the most awkward moment ever. Because, like, we had kissed before, but we didn't want anybody to know, because 1, my parents would freak out, and 2, my sister, who's a year younger than I am, and his brother, who's a year younger than I am, you know, they're, like, his brother and my sister are literally a month apart. Not even a month, they're like 15 days, if that, apart. Would never, ever, ever, ever let us live it down. And at that age, you know, that's the biggest embarrassing thing ever, is to get caught kissing somebody. And that may sound really stupid, but, you know, you had to be there. And it was just, it was more embarrassing because it was awkward than anything. Besides that, there was probably, you know, every time I got my period in class, which it's happened so many times, I'm not even, like, fazed by it anymore. I got my period at my sister's wedding on a white dress, on my white prom dress, and I'm just not even fazed by it anymore. That's how many times this happened to me. I bring extra clothing with me when I'm on my period because it just always happens. It's the sad part about being a girl. My favorite hobby. Okay, so I'm really into music. I really like music, but I really like writing. Like, people would expect, you know, singing is my favorite hobby, and it's one of them, but I really only like choir. And I really can't do that here. But here I can do writing, and I really do enjoy it. And I'm actually writing a book now, and it is on Facebook, if you want to check it out. It's called If Only, and it's It's quite good, or so I've heard. I have one friend that's read it, and she's like, this is so good, and I'm like, thank you. By the way, okay, here at Ball State, there is something called the Writing Center. Well, you take your essays up there, and they're going to help you, with proofing them, and grammar, and content, and they're not like an editing service, as they put it. They're more of a tutoring service for people who need help with their writings. And they also help with like resumes and stuff, so if you're at Ball State, please check that out. They're pretty good, actually. So my teacher in my English class today, she took us up there to let us know, because she's like, you're probably going to need them for your current paper, because this paper is really complicated, and you may need some input. And so she's like, let me take you up here and show you how to do all this stuff and have them tell you about it and stuff. So we went up there, and this guy was so charming and so adorable. He looked like he played the guitar, you know what I mean? Like, he looked like he was part of a band and played the guitar and, like, wrote poetry. He looked like that guy. I have no clue how old he is. I really don't know his name. I think it was Mike. I have no clue what it was. He pulled up a name because he logged in at one point to the computer to show us what to do, and his name pulled up, and I think it started with an M, but I can't be sure. I'll know his name when I see it on the tutor list when I sign up, because that's the only tutor I'm taking, baby. That's what's happening. Because he's just so charming that he could seriously, like, rip up my papers in front of me and tell me they were shit, and I would just be like, you're so wonderful. So yeah, I really like writing. Men or women more? Okay, here's the complication. For men, I can bring those home, because I'm not out to my parents. I'm out to my sister, but I'm not out to my parents. And so, like, men, I can bring those home, and they can be a part of my everyday life. Women, however, it's a little more complicated, because I'm not out to most of my family. But on just an emotional level, I find I connect with women more. And I find I'm more sexually attracted to women. I always say that I am bisexual, but I don't really know what the balance is there. Like, I had an interview at IYG, when they take all your information, they're like, okay, what do you identify as? And I was like, technically bisexual. However, I know I'm not, all I know is I know I'm not straight, but I'm not really sure what the balance is yet, is how I put it. And she's like, that's fine, that's most of our people. I was like, cool, I'm not alone. So, I think on an emotional level, I prefer women more. However, on a physical level, it's really hard to find my physical type in women, because I like people who are built like I am, kind of apple-shaped, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like broader shoulders and kind of like rounder hips and stuff. I like a curvy woman, and like all of them are straight. They're all straight. All the toothpicks are lesbians, and I'm just like, why? Like, physically, it's really hard to find a woman who meets my physical needs. However, mentally, I have great lesbian friends, but I would never sleep with them, because I'm not physically attracted to them. Emotionally, I am very attracted to them on an emotional level, but on a physical level, it's just, you know what I mean? Men are just so hard to understand. Sometimes they send you mixed messages. I'm looking at my phone right now because he sends me mixed messages. Oh my god, the lights went out. No! Oh god. Okay. Sorry, like, if you don't make big movements, the lights go out because they're on a sensor. And the sensor's on the other side of the room. So if I was on the other side of the room, this would not be so weird. I apologize for that. I'm kind of drowning on. But I'm looking at my phone because there's this guy that I'm talking to, and he's sending me mixed messages, and I hate that. Just so you know, guy I'm talking to, hate that. So yeah, so men, it's kind of more complicated than when I date women, because when I date men, it's more socially acceptable, and so I enjoy that because I get to take them out and no one will stare at me. However, I don't enjoy the fact that when I'm in a relationship with a man, he just expects that since I'm bisexual, I'm a slut and will be totally willing to do a threesome. I don't believe in limiting yourself sexually. I really don't. I think try everything once, at least, as long as you're comfortable with it. But at the same time, I'm like, don't assume that about me. You know what I mean? So that's where the complication arises. Describe IYG from your own experience. IYG is my home away from home. And I wish I got to go there more often. But when I'm home on the weekends, I get home so late that I can never go there. And they're only open on Fridays. So, like, spring break, I will totally be there. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, I will totally be there. And then over the summer, I will be there every Friday night, except for when I have my musicals performances and stuff, and you know the extracurriculars I do through my church through the summer and stuff. So other than that, I will be there every Friday night, and I will love every moment of it. And I got to go back a few weeks ago over winter break, and I was so fucking happy. Like, it was the highlight of my winter break. And I think it's just a wonderful place. You walk in, and these, like, I've talked to straight people who go there, and they go there because you walk in, and it is a place where you feel amazing. Everybody loves you. There's not really drama. You know, there's a little bit of drama. I mean, it is a bunch of gay people. I'm kidding. That's a stereotype. No, it's not. But yeah, it's like a place where you walk in and you feel so welcome, and people hug you, and they call you your friend, and they're like, hey, you want to go hang out? And they're like, you want to play this, or you want to dance, or you want to go do this, you want to walk, you want to, you know, it's like a very awesome community. They're like, we're going to watch a movie in here, do you want to come? There's this group happening, you want to come? You know, it's a nice place to be. Like, I could go there and just sit and watch people play rock band, or sit in the room and just watch people dance, or dance myself and feel completely comfortable. And I love that. And the last thing, because these are all from Jazz, and she asks why we haven't hung out, because it's been forever. Well, again, I only see you at IYG, and so I never get to come to IYG, but I promise the next time I am at IYG, I will make a video the day before so that you can make sure that you are there that week, and it's going to be the first week of March. So I think it's like, that Friday is like the 4th. And I'm going to try really hard to come home as early as possible on that day. And so I may even like skip all my classes that day and come home on that day. And so I will totally see you then. I promise. Because I love you, and I miss you, and I miss our conversations about people. Like, her and I get together and we just talk about people and why people do this and why people do that. And I don't understand this about society. And it's so much fun. And she makes the greatest videos. So if you have not checked her out, she's JasmyneMonroe is her name on there. And she's awesome. She's one of my subscribers. So if you go to my profile, you can see my subscribers, and she's on there. And I love her. And I love all of you. And I will see you later. And I apologize for how I look. I'm sorry. It is midnight on Saturday. So, I love you guys. Bye.